ongoing. We can speak to Jennifer Victor, who is a professor of political science at George Mason University. She joins us from Washington, D.C. Jennifer, I spoke to you earlier before we heard from Donald Trump and some of the other speakers, and we were talking about the tone of the rhetoric from today's speeches. I wonder what you made of some of what we've heard so far from Donald Trump and, of course, from J.D. Vance, and to what extent you think it will influence the political debate in the weeks ahead.
Yeah, no, I think it certainly will. Some of the phrases and language that are coming out of this event are things that I sort of expect us to see. Honestly, the most striking thing to me so far is how much this event seems to be sort of a mashup of a kind of traditional political convention that we see around election time and what in the U.S. is commonly thought of as a mega church service. In the U.S., there are a number of churches around the country that are like shopping mall sized, like stadium seating. They're often referred to as mega churches. Some of them are many of them are non-denominational or vaguely evangelical, but they often have particular kind of phrases and language, and there's a whole sort of culture around that kind of thing. And what we're seeing here is really a mashup of both of those things in a way that I've honestly never seen before. It's quite jarring in terms of thinking about the mixing of religion and politics here that used to be kept a bit more separate in the United States. Getting to some of the language that people are using, a few of the speakers have used what I would call fairly aggressive language that invokes ideas of warriorism, lots of military themes. J.D. Vance himself talks about putting on armor. All of this warlike language is characterized so far in two ways. One is it's very much the hallmarks of demagoguery. So it's black and white thinking. It's we are good, they are evil. It's lots of pronouns, right? It's us and them. And very much defining us as the good people and them as the evil people. So this very black and white kind of thinking has been really common. And then mixing that with the militarism and the warlike kind of language, which I think is particularly kind of dangerous. It can get people riled up. Your reporter had spoken earlier about the security incident that I had not heard about. So, again, we are living in a pretty volatile environment, and having political figures use language like this is what will, kind of spur people on. People who, most people are not inclined towards violence. It's a very small percentage of the population that might be inclined that way. But for that small percentage, this type of language that is encouraging can tip the balance, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jennifer, it was notable that in the opening moments of Donald Trump's speech, he referred to Charlie Kirk's suspected killer as a radicalized, cold-blooded monster. But what was interesting is Erica Kirk, just a few moments before that, was talking about God and Christianity, and then also said that she was going to, or she had forgiven the alleged assassin. Quite an irony there.
Yeah, that was really a dramatic moment. She became very emotional. There was a moment where she seemed to pause, like maybe she was trying to decide if she was going to say what she had planned to say. And so maybe she had a moment of pause herself in her own thinking, but she had this very dramatic kind of statement that she made, very emotional, about forgiving her husband's killer, and couching that all in a sort of Christian theology. And she got a lot of applause. There's been a lot of big applause lines at this event, and that may have been one of the biggest. So that was a potential moment of calm, of sort of bringing things back to a religious kind of sense of peace, rather than some of the other political figures who are using the religious imagery as more saber rattling. She was using it more as a sort of calming effect. So that was presenting a very interesting kind of dichotomy. Whether or not that has staying power and how much sort of leadership she is able to garner with those words, we'll have to see in the coming weeks.
Indeed. Thank you so much for your analysis. Jennifer Victor, Professor of Political Science at George Mason University.
Thank you.